Hi everyone, Paul here with PTZOptics, and in this video, I want to talk about our PTZ and fixed camera solutions for courtrooms. I have a courtroom connected to our PTZOptics Hive remote camera control, remote audio visual management solution that I want to jump right into and discuss some of the audio visual workflows that are emerging in the modern age. So many of our customers are modernizing their courtrooms to include video communications. And I'm going to go through some of the basic to advanced video communication systems that are set up for courtrooms in the modern age. But before I do so, I want to share PTZOptics Hive. This is our new remote camera control solution that I'm using right here in a courtroom. This is a Be in Court courtroom in Reston, Virginia. Be in Court is a wonderful company that allows customers to get virtual courtrooms set up. And you can actually log in and request to do a Zoom meeting with them. But what I want to show is how I'm remotely controlling the PTZ camera in the courtroom. And I have the ability, just for privacy purposes, when we have a jury, for example. Now, this is more of like a hearing room. There is no actual jury bench, but we can actually limit the pan and tilt movements so that we can never see the jury, just for safety concerns. But one of the values of having a PTZ camera is if you're on a budget, you can only have one camera. You can actually have multiple locations preset, just like this, where you can simply click where you want the camera to go. And I want to just talk about the fact of how I am remote to this location. This is in Virginia. I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania today. And I want to show kind of a little bit about the remote connectivity here. So this is a web browser. I want to show how I can remotely monitor all of the audio visual pieces of equipment in the courtroom. So if you're managing multiple courtrooms, this tool becomes very useful. I can see here that my cameras are coming in at 1080p at 5 megabits per second roughly. And I can remotely manage these devices. And I can manage the video protocol, whether we're using RTSP or NDI. I can reboot the cameras and manage all of their video and audio settings. And what this allows us to do is stay ahead of the curve, right? If there's something happening in the courtroom, if the network goes down, we can get notifications. We can make sure that everything is running. And if you're managing multiple courtrooms, it's really nice to have all of this in one simple unified dashboard. Now, the other thing I'd like to show here is if we do have multiple courtrooms that we're required to manage, we can have them all set up here, and with one click of a button, I can jump in between the different courtrooms that I'm managing in different districts, in different areas. This is all here for us to jump into all of the different spaces that we're responsible for. Now, we took a look at the ability to kind of pan, tilt, zoom, and use presets. We have a couple cameras here that are fixed. So in order to, maximize what you're capable of in a budget, fixed cameras, this is a PTZOptics Studio Pro. You can have a fixed camera on a judge or a witness area so that these are multiple fixed cameras here. I can zoom them in, I can zoom them out. I can adjust the color and all of those settings if there's an issue, if the lighting changes, for example. You have all the controls to remotely zoom in and out as needed. And then, of course, with PTZ cameras, the full ability to pan, tilt, and zoom. And then I can also very quickly kind of just pick the area I want the camera to go into, and it'll zoom right into this. So we did a video with Be in Court that does an entire overview of their court system, their virtual court system, that I'll link to in the video description and the blog post. But just wanted to show kind of those basic abilities to quickly and easily remotely manage all of your audio and video settings, and the ability to just really quickly manage all of your courtroom audio-visual equipment. Okay, so now that we've looked at all of that, I want to go over some of the diagrams that we have for audio-visual systems setup. Now, a lot of our customers, and we have some case studies on our website, like the New York court system, for example, are using NDI. And NDI is an IP video connection system, and they're leveraging networking switches. So network equipment can provide power, PoE networking power, to power over Ethernet to the devices that allows you to remotely manage the devices, to control the devices, and to power them. So when we're talking about putting in several cameras, and let's say they're fixed cameras like the ones we were looking at earlier in Hive, we can have multiple cameras and all we need is a single Ethernet connection. And I want to take a look at some of these. So for example, we've got 2 cameras. There's a clerk with a PC. We've got a camera on the attorney and a camera on the judge. And then we have a secondary witness camera. So 3 cameras. We have, at the witness stand, we have an NDI decoder. And what that does is it allows you to take any video source and show it on the screen. We also, at the clerk PC, we have an encoder. So what that does is it allows you to take video, maybe it's an HDMI input, maybe it's an iPad, maybe it's a piece of evidence, and send it to the judge or on a public display once the judge has approved that. So this is a very kind of basic, I know it looks a little complicated, but there's really only 5 or 6 devices here. They're all on the same local area network. And this is the wiring diagram here. Now you can download all of these wiring diagrams and take a look at how they're set up. So you can see here there's a judge monitor, there's a control system, there's a witness monitor, there's a power over Ethernet switch, which is connecting all of these devices together. And this is a very cost-effective way to build an audiovisual system. There's no HDMI matrices, there's no expensive systems. This is a very affordable system for a courtroom. And that's as a basic hearing room. Now, in a more standard courtroom, it's very similar here, but we might add a PTZ camera. We might add witness monitors, or we might add jury displays. It's still the same premise. We're still connecting all of these NDI video sources to a network, and we are still really managing all of this over IP, right? So we can connect to this all over the local area network. And then if you need to connect to these devices over the wide area network, let's say it's in a different local area network in a different state or a different building, that is where PTZOptics Hive comes in, where we can control these remotely and manage them all in one central system. So this is a small claims room, maybe a little bit smaller. We have some displays for large courtrooms where there's multiple PTZ cameras. And in our video, in our documentation, we show how PTZ cameras can really automate you can capture a lot of spaces, and you can limit the pan and tilt so that the jury is never shown. So just want to talk about some of the solutions that we've provided for courtrooms specifically here. And then we've got these really great starting points for AV systems. If you're doing it yourself or working with an integrator, this is a great starting point to get your audiovisual systems all set up. And then we talk a little bit about the USB fusion from Magewell and using a smartphone, allowing lawyers and people who are presenting evidence to have multiple ways to do that, whether they're connecting a laptop in, providing a USB device with media on it, or connecting a smartphone with Wi-Fi. There's multiple options for wirelessly or hardwire presenting evidence. So you can get this document on our website. You can download this for free at PTZOptics.com in our courtroom webpage under the Solutions tab, or you can just email partners at PTZOptics to get connected. So again, just wanted to share some of our wiring diagrams and our remote camera management solutions for courtrooms. I hope this was helpful. Don't feel like you can't reach out to us. We've got an amazing award-winning support team with lifetime support for all of these cameras. All of our cameras are NDAA compliant, so that's important for many of our state, local, and federal customers. So feel free to reach out and schedule a demo. We can literally invite you directly into this studio, or if I show you on my computer here, we can jump into another studio. So We can share access with you. You can download Hive for free and try it out. So like this is our studio, for example. I can click a share button and easily share access with you into our studio, or you can set up your own Hive studio to gain access. So really excited about helping our customers use remote production technology and remote management tools in the courts. Feel free to reach out, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video.